who will be moderating today's webinar session entitled Teaching and Learning Strategies During COVID-19 Pandemic. Thank you to Digital Classroom and Microsoft Malaysia for co-organizing this session with MOE Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 pandemic need no introduction. It has impacted many sectors of not only the developing countries, but developed nations as well. 186 countries across the globe is facing this challenge. And at this time, approximately 1.7 billion children from primary, secondary, and tertiary level are affected by school closure as a part of measures to contain the spread of COVID-19. The impact has been dramatic and transformative as teachers struggle to come up with short-term solutions for remote teaching and learning, particularly in Asian countries where students and schools face additional challenges related to financing and the availability of infrastructure. The Ministry of Education around the world have been deploying a wide mix of approaches to address education disruption and at the same time to foster quality distance learning with a concern to ensure equity and inclusive, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, leaving no one behind. On that note, this webinar session aims to share the strategies of teaching and learning adapted by 4 different countries during this crisis. For that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honored that we have 6 distinguished guests with me on the panel. They are from Malaysia, India, Russia, and the Republic of Korea. Before we dive deep into the session, it would be great if we have the speakers here to introduce your good self, right? And for that, we'll start off with the Malaysian team and then followed by India, Russia, and the Republic of Korea. Yes, Dr. Suras and Puan Fazila, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm Surat from Malaysia. I'm working in Ministry of Education, designation Assistant Director. Okay, job description is on television production, educational television production, and I hold a PhD in media management, specifying on educational television production, program production. I guess that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Hello, everyone. I'm Fazila Muhammad Osman from SK Tiara Permai or Tiara Permai Primary School. I teach music education and also in charge of the school resource center, that is the library and the media room, and also the school site room. I'm MIE expert, MIE master trainer, and also one of the national representatives to E2 2020 in Sydney, Australia. Okay.
Yes, India, Ms. Supriya.
Hello everyone, this is Supriya. I'm from Solapur, India. I'm an elementary school teacher teaching for the grade level 1st to 4th. So I'm MIE expert and ambassadors also. So I started working with Microsoft from last 3 years. So thank you so much everyone for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Miss Helen, Russia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Helen. I am a teacher of English from Belgrade region, Russia. I do not work at a public school. I run my own studio of English, which is called Smart Teen Studio for students of different ages, from 8 to 18. And they come to my studio to get their extra classes in English and to get ready for their exams. And I am also a ME expert and a Skype master teacher, and also a E2 winner to Sydney, Australia. Unfortunately, it was postponed, and yeah, we don't know if it's going to be or not, but nevertheless, okay. That's all from my side. Thank you for inviting me to this webinar, and I'm ready to share with you and with all the participants my own experience.
A pleasure. Ms. Dasom and Ms. Park.
Good evening from Daegu, Korea. My name is Dasom Kim, and I'm a senior program specialist at the Institute of APAC Collaborative Education. It's our true honor to be with you here today, and we hope to share our experiences, the Korea's experiences on the response to the COVID-19, and share our know-hows. And the IAs, as a special organization under the Ministry of Education, we organize the annual APAC e-learning training program and also other APAC projects such as the APAC Future Education Forum, the ALCOP, the APAC Learning Community Builders. So yes, we hope to share our best with you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Ms. Hyunjung Park. I am a program specialist in IACE with Ms. Dasom Kim, and I'm the person who is in charge of APEC e-learning training program, inviting policy education policymakers from 12 APEC member economy. And it is very honor for us to participate in this web seminar to share teaching and learning strategies. Thank you.
Fantastic. It's our pleasure to have all of you here with us. And yes, that was a very brief yet precise introduction from our speakers. Now, let me straight get into the questions, right? Before that, dear speakers, let me give you a brief introduction on the structure of this session, how it would be. I will pose questions, right? And each country will have their say. We will start from Malaysia and then India, Russia, and then the Republic of Korea. So this will be the structure for throughout the session. I have 3 questions with me, and question will be added based on the audience question if there is any. All right. Now, my very first question, right, on this. What are the measures or steps taken by your Ministry of Education in response to COVID-19 to ensure teaching and learning is not interrupted throughout the whole lockdown period? And together with that, do share with us your personal strategies as well as initiatives that you have adapted, or your teachers, your fellow friend teachers have adapted in conducting lessons for your students. That's the first question. Can we have Dr. Suras Puan Fazila to start this?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Since the 2 of us from Malaysia, I will talk on the effort by the ministry, and maybe my partner can talk about the effort by the schools and teachers. Okay, since the lockdown of 18th March 2020, the conventional classroom has been changed to a new norm, meaning it's like a digital era now. Yeah, it was already a digital era in Malaysia all the while, but it is in enhanced form now. We are enhancing the digital education. To start with, we already have a learning portal called EduWeb TV. We already have that, but now during the MCO, or Movement Control Order, MCO is Movement Control Order, which is in effect in Malaysia until June 9 this month. allow my partner to talk from the school.
Okay, all right. Okay, since Dr. Suras has been telling about the Ministry of Education side, so I will instead share my personal initiatives that I have adapted in conducting lessons with my students. Okay, well, my school has parents WhatsApp group in each classes. What I usually do is I will post up information and links in the WhatsApp groups. So the parents in turn will ask their children to do the assignments given and answer the quiz attached. For example, I teach music education for year 4 to year 6, that is 10 to 12 years old. I would post up a link to my website. Okay, I will give them a topic from my website to read and study. After they have gone through the topic, they would have to answer the quiz. I use Microsoft Form for the quiz. The quiz would provide me with the statistics on how many students took part, their names, classes, and I can evaluate them through the answers. As you know, I'm also the school library and media teacher or resource center teacher. I would do my part by sharing the e-classes and several other Malaysian Ministry of Education initiative links to my students. And of course, they would have to fill in the forms for feedback. I also use the Ministry of Education's digital learning platform to engage with my students face to face. In this unique platform, we can access Microsoft Teams or Google Classroom to meet our students virtually. I have so far conducted Microsoft Teams meeting with my students. I've conducted a tutorial on Flipgrid, which is an app to record videos and help my students to do assignment on activities at home during the Malaysian Movement Control Order. This assignment comes under the School Resource Center Literacy Information, and I'm happy to say that my students had done interesting and creative recordings of their activities at home with the help of their parents and siblings. Even the shy ones are good at expressing themselves. Okay, other than that, I try to make my virtual meetings more exciting with my students by class with Madam Nirmala, who is an English excellent teacher from Tawau, Sabah. E-classes, I had engaged a good friend of mine, teacher Asma from Morocco, to teach Arabic and French. We have started these e-classes 4 weeks ago. My the French e-classes, my students were really excited to learn French. They had so far learned to pronounce the French alphabets and greetings. They were also given homework for revision. The teacher uses tools and apps to get them engaged. Now, all this won't be possible if I didn't get full support from my headmistress, Madam Safia. The parents too appreciate the activities that I have done with their children. So,
So that's
Okay,
all.
Miss
Yes, yes.
Jayanti,
Yes.
just to top up to what Puan Fazila has said, as I said, the e-learning has been always in practice in Malaysia. Before the MCO, the count was like 63,358 teachers in the system. But during the MCO, it has doubled or tripled. No. It's like 5 times more. 303,717 teachers in the system. This is the official figure from the ministry. So as you can see, the new norm is really taking place in Malaysia during the COVID-19 session. And also, we are in a we just now I told we have about 36 webinar sessions with teachers, IBT, the teachers training colleges, and the more than 46 classroom with more than 300 students have been participating in the Google Classroom. Just to add to what Puan Fazila has stated. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suras and Puan Fadzila. That was very informative and widely covered. Right. Next, let us move to, I think India have some problem with connectivity. Can we have Miss Helen from Russia to share your experience on this, your measures and steps taken by your school and your Ministry of Education? Yes, Miss Helen. I think you need to unmute. Yes, exactly.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I should say that all the educational institutions in Russia have been closed since the end of March. And so all schools and universities were switched to remote learning. That means that maybe in some universities they have got online lectures, but mostly it is remote learning, which is organized on different platforms. In public schools, they use Google Classroom. Now they are introducing Microsoft Teams. And also we have got our Russian electronic school, which is called RESH, and it is a unique platform because here we call it as an educational information environment that brings together students, teachers, and parents across the whole country. And this platform gives the access to quality education for every child. All subjects that are on the curriculum at school. And also all these lesson plans, they are maybe short videos which were compiled by the best teachers of Russia. And so maybe if the teacher doesn't have much time to get ready for the class, or maybe she or he has got lots of papers to check out, she can use just ready to use videos made by other teachers all around the Russia. So it's a great tool because, it's very helpful. Also, there are almost 100,000 unique tasks and almost 5,000 training materials, such as tests, virtual laboratories, training videos, and audios. But this platform does not only contain the lesson plans, but here you can find a library of virtual field trips to museums, famous museums of Russia and globally. And also you can visit virtually, you can visit best plays, best performances in the world theaters. And also libraries. You have got lots of books, audio books, which can be used for personal use, and also you can use them for the curriculum. And this system is great because in the system both the teacher and the student can create their personal accounts on this platform. And when, for example, a student or a teacher loves some material, they can save it in their personal account and it can be used many, many times. This is for the whole in the country. And I think that I can share one more fact. Maybe it is not very pleasant one, But our government, 2 days ago, they made the decision to reject or to cancel the examinations in all the classes, all the grades. So even if we have got the graduates of the 9th and 11th grades who can enter the colleges or universities. For example, in the 9th grade, we do not have to take exams at all, and the certificates of the graduation will be given according to the final marks of the 3 terms. And as for the 11th graders, only those students who are going to apply for the university, they will take their exams, but these exams are postponed. So as a rule, the end of the year, academic year, is on the 25th of May, as a rule in Russia. And at the end of May, we usually start our examinations. But this year, these exams are postponed on the 19th of June for the 11th graders. But even now, we cannot be sure that we will start on the 19th of June, because the situation is not very good in Russia. As you follow the facts, so the number of infected people increasing. But I think that it is a wise decision, because our government and the Ministry of Education take care of the health of our young generation and eliminate the risks to be infected, And I think that we shall overcome, and maybe we are back to school in September and it will be okay. As for my personal studio, I shifted all my students to remote learning, and we use Skype for online classes, where I meet with all my students and I deliver the new material. And then for testing and for discussion, the following materials, I use Flipgrid platform, which is a video platform where we can send video recordings. And also I get my students to prepare for their final English exams. Also on this platform, I created some grids where they can send their answers and I can check. I can give instant feedback for them. And so we continue our preparation. Also, I personally organize some trainings for teachers, Russian teachers and teachers globally, and introduce this platform. And also I introduce Wakelet. It's a great platform which is integrated into Microsoft. And it is the platform where you can find lots of links. And even now, today, I shared my link of my collection, which I created at the beginning of this COVID quarantine, which contains more than 60 useful links for teachers of English as a second language. And you can use it freely. And maybe you can create some lessons using all these resources. I know that now we are overloaded with lots and lots of links, with lots of platforms, but please don't be panic. Just do what you can do and do perfectly. Just choose some of them. And don't try to catch everything, because we cannot do everything. Just choose what suits to your maybe classroom, to your children, to your emotional state in this or that classroom. Because, for example, what works for my classes might not work for your children, So stay insane. Okay, that's all from my side.
All right, thank you, Miss Exactly, you have got it exactly right. And now, can we have Miss Supriya from India?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Supriya. As will you please mute your sound because
All right.
I hear my sound. So in India situation, wait, I suffering some issues here. Give me 2 minutes, please.
So maybe while she is getting it done, can we have Miss Dasom and Miss Park? All right, to answer our very first question. Yes, Miss Dasom.
We are ready to go. And
Yeah.
Korea's education is disrupted definitely by the COVID-19. So we are reshaping the education to the future education and shifting the educational paradigm, we can say. Can we have the PPT that we sent, if possible, if the technical assistance is possible?
Yes, yes. Just give me a moment.
We'd like to share how Korea dealt in the education policy-wise to the COVID-19 and created the PPT. We hope that this information could be shared later with the participants, and it could be a useful information for everyone. First of all, Korea's government has the basic principle called the trust. Trust is the acronym for the transparency, responsibility, united actions, science, and together in solidarity. So the Korean government, together with all the relevant stakeholders, try to open the information about the COVID-19 and the situation, how the situation prevails. So first, the Korean government decided to open the schools online. Of course, the Korea's new semester, the new school year begins in March, and the government made a tough decision. We thought about the school closure and etc. But finally, we tried to open the schools online in April, and that information is in slide 13. And right now in Korea, the COVID-19 was very serious in February and March, but now it has a bit like quietened down. And yes, we have moved to the quarantine in our daily life basis. There was no lockdown, but it was very serious, and everyone had have to just wear the mask and get themselves hygiened and etc. And now we are trying to open the schools offline, but unfortunately, because of the silent spread of the COVID-19, we decided to just delay the opening of the offline schools by 1 week. It would be very grateful if you could show the slide number 14. And just like Russia, the Korean government also delayed the nationwide college entrance exam called Suneung by the December 3rd, by 2 weeks later. So this slide shows how Korean government prepared to open the online schools. From the early March to the later March, we just had the announcement of the homerooms and the teachers to the primary, middle, and high school students. And of course, the government decided to just close the kindergartens because they're too young to come to the school or study via online. And for the higher education institutes, it's just up to themselves. High schools were better prepared to the online school opening, so there are only 1 or 2 weeks of the delay of the opening of the schools. So right now we'll just focus on the primary, middle, and high school opening of the online education and offline. And in the second phase, yes, we provided the support for the students for their individualized and customized online education. And finally, at the end of March, the government gave the guideline to all schools and teachers. And last, we just provided the detailed information. And just like Malaysian case, we also provided the web platform for the teachers and the students to just engage on. And about the methods of the online education, could you go to slide number 17? So there are 3 types of the online class schemes as guided by the Korean government. First is the content-based learning from the pre-shoot videos, and second is the assignment-based learning, and last, interactive and real-time learning via video conferencing. So for the first and the second graders, I heard only the first 2 types of the schemes are provided, because the first grader or the second grader, they're just too young to engage in the Zoom or the WebEx meetings, and they need the parent assistant. So from grade 3, they can do the real-time learning with their teachers using the webcams or the smartphones. And for the students who don't have the digital devices, the local offices of education provide, or the schools provide them the necessary devices. And about that, Ms. Hyun-Jung Park will explain later on how Korea supported the marginalized students. And about the content-based learning, students just watch a pre-recorded video and then submit their comments to the teachers. And for the assignment-based learning, of course, the teachers give the assignments to the students and they have to submit online. And of course, we are using the global education platforms such as the Google Classroom, Zoom, and etc. But of course, we have the local learning management system, the LMS, called the Naver Band, Classting, Classum, etc. So we use both the global platforms and the Korean platforms for the students and the teachers to assist their continuity of the teaching and learning. And for the Korea, we have also provided the peer support program for the teachers, and that was very special in the preparing the online opening of the schools. It's called the 10,000 community of the teachers, 1만 community in Korean, and it's basically about one teacher, one representative teacher, who is designated, who volunteered to be the peer supporter for the other teachers. There are about 10,000 schools in Korea, the primary, middle, and high schools. And we just have one teacher from each school to volunteer as the model or the leader teacher for the ICT education. And they just help other teachers to prepare for the online opening of the schools. And that was very special for us. And of course, the nationwide educational broadcasting system, the EBS, also supports the online education, and the CARIS, the Korea's educational information system, that's also the specialized organization under the Ministry of Education that's also supporting the online opening of the schools. So we were already equipped with good infrastructure to open the digital learning, and also had the parents, teachers, the students understanding about the digital devices and the education. So that made a smooth transition for us from the traditional education to the digital learning experiences.
Is that all, Ms.
Yes,
Dasser?
that's all. But of course, I assume that there will be numerous questions. And yes, we would like to know more about the Korea's experiences. So later on, the questions are also welcome.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Ms. Dasam. And Ms. Supriya is having some technical problem. I think she has some electricity issues in her area. So let her get settled with that. We'll move on to the next question. Before that, for the first question, we could see, even though there are certain level of differences, but the trend for these countries, Malaysia, Russia, and also Korea, the trend that we have adapted, it's more or less the same. I think we are on track, right? Now, diving deep, let's move on to the next question, the second question. Malaysia, how are you coping with the challenges of remote learning? When I say challenges here, let me narrow down the challenges of remote learning here. The students' engagement, number one, time management, and assessment. Just now we heard from Russia, she mentioned about assessment. Now let us dive deep a bit. How it is tackled, these elements being addressed in distance learning in Malaysia. Unmute, Mr. Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, on the challenges.
Yes.
First, the students' engagement. Okay, Malaysia's biggest problem is connectivity. Okay, we have connectivity problem where not everyone can access. So to solve the problem, we have brought back our terrestrial broadcasting. As I told earlier, we have 3 channels to air about 6 hours a day, and the learning takes place. That is the first part of it. And then the other challenge in engagement is, you see, classroom education has been like pedagogy. That means when you teach, the students learn. It's pedagogy. Students have learned. But when you do it online and you do it on TV or broadcasting, it becomes andragogy, meaning it's not easy to control the students on the other side. They are not in front of you. So that's a big challenge. So our educational programs got to be attractive enough, got to be informational enough to make the child sit in front of the TV or sit in front of the computer. So that's a big challenge. I believe during our trainings, we have been going through all this, but we are trying our level best to do this. To start with, what we are doing is, you see, in Malaysia, as I told earlier, we have been in lockdown since March. Now it's already May. So what we are doing in educational, our office, in the studio is, we are producing programs, educational programs, topics and subjects based on what the child should learn in March, April, May. Staggered, meaning according to the standard and form and subjects and topics. So we connect with the teachers. Teachers know what they are supposed to teach now, and they come to our studio here, record the thing, and we air it through our broadcasting stations and channels. That's one we are doing. And at the same time, we also park it in our learning website, and students can access to it later. So that's one part of the engagement taking it. Time management is a big problem because we are not beside teachers. This is more on the teacher side. I will let Puan Fazila talk about it. But assessment, as Russia said just now, they are done with the exams. Malaysia is on the same phase. We are not having any major exams this year. As you said earlier, Russia has no more. Your exam, school year ends in mid-year, but we end in December. Malaysia ends in December. So the major exams usually end in December. But the major exams where the child will be decided to go to university or college or matriculation, all that is being shifted to next year. It will only happen 2021. And major exams that does not relate to any universities and all that has been cancelled. They are not doing the exam this year. Same, that's the situation here. And finally, even though Korea is going to open your school, but I don't think we will open now. We won't. We, according to our top guns, ministers, no, we are not opening now. We still wait for further notice. I'm not sure when is it, but we don't have the plan to open it now. I guess I answered the 3 questions, but I'll let the time management to Puan Fazila. Thank you.
Yes, Puan Fazila. Unmute, Puan Fazila.
I do have challenges when I give give tasks or assignments to my students. Not all my students will submit their assignments. There are several reasons. First, not all the parents have access to internet. Okay. Second, the parents have to go to work and they will take along their handphone with them. So there's no other handphone or devices at home on which the students can access the internet. Three, sometimes the parents are not bothered with the task given by the teachers. You see? Okay.
Parents
Right.
commitment.
Yes, commitment. So far, that are the three reasons that so far I have encountered
Right.
when
True.
I give assignments to my students. Yes, that's all from me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Puan Fazila and Doctor. Miss Helen. Miss Helen, can you hear?
Okay, what can I add? What can I add?
All right. Looking at the challenges of remote learning, and
Yes.
as I said, it's the student engagement, time management, and assessment. These are the great challenges that has been listed when I do some readings, and I came across these are the elements that remote learning biggest challenge. So,
Okay.
What's your say on this? Yes.
The biggest challenge here is the number of devices. You know, in one family there might be 3 children, but they have got only one computer, and maybe this computer is engaged by their parents, because maybe their parents also are working remotely at this period of time. And so this is the biggest problem, because our students started to use their smartphones, and the internet connection also is very poor, very low. And the sound is not always good. And even during my classes, online classes, I do not always see them. I can hear their voices, but I cannot see their faces. And this is my problem, because I want this face-to-face, eye-to-eye contact, you know. And it's very difficult sometimes, because I speak to myself all the time. I speak to myself, not to my students. And I always ask somebody, please, open your camera, just one person, please, because I need to speak to someone. Yeah, it's the challenge for me, first of all. And what else? Time management. Yes, of course, because we have got poor connection. Sometimes they did not hear me well. And in this case, I need to plan my lessons very carefully. So I write the plan and mark the time. Always I mark the time in minutes. Near every task which I'm going to do during my class, I put the time limit, and I need to understand that maybe I might have some problems, so I need some spare time, because if I plan a very long lesson, I don't have time to finish it. So time management is very, very important while we start online learning. What about assessment? As I have mentioned before, I use some platforms, and one of my favorites is Kahoot. Maybe you have heard about it. It's like a game. It's like a quiz for my students. And even after we have learned something, I make a short Kahoot, maybe 10 or 15 questions. And my students adore playing Kahoot. And when they are playing, they even don't understand that I am assessing them at the same period of time. They are having fun, but I am checking their knowledge at the same period. And after we finish, I receive the Excel document with all the data, who was wrong in which question, and then at the next lesson, I can empower this points maybe, and to explain them more carefully, or ask them to do more exercises to improve their skill in this or that field. Okay. Also, I use Flipgrid, and I am a Flipgrid student voice ambassador, and so of course we use it for regular classes. For example, we discuss topic about learning English, and I ask my students, please record a short video and give 3 reasons, not 10 reasons, but 3 reasons why people learn English nowadays. And of course, they make this video and they start improving their speaking skills. And even shy students, even those who don't speak much, I force them slightly, step by step, to start speak English and improve. And also, I give feedback. I can give video feedback, which can be seen only by this student and nobody else. Or I can give a video response for them, and everyone can listen to their mistakes maybe and listen to my explanations. So it's great tool. I think that even you can do exam preparation also, because you have got time limits there. And for example, during the exam, speaking part exam, they have got only 2 minutes to deliver their speech, and I can set this time limit on Flipgrid, and they can understand that during their exam they have no more time, and so they should keep to this time limit, and they should speak faster, and they can analyze them, they can listen to their response, and they can analyze their mistakes, and they can even do their peer correction. You know, I can send QR code for different students and ask them to check their peers' answers. And this is how I work. I do not give marks, you know, because this is a private studio. I do not give any marks, but I give feedback, and that's it how I work.
Fantastic, Ms. Helen. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Your effort is fantastic. And can we have your say, Ms. Tassim, on how Korea face these challenges?
Hyunjung will explain.
Yes, Ms. Park.
Yes, even though 99% of teenagers can use the internet and can access to internet for learning, also we have some educational challenges for marginalized students. First, students with disability. Second, students from multicultural families. Third, students from low-income families. So for students with disability, based on the types of disabilities, they provide a variety of way to minimize the social context in combination of online, and sometimes teachers make a home visit to them, their house. For students from multicultural families, the Ministry of Education and provisional offices of education and local multicultural centers provide some kind of reading materials, just like booklets in many multi languages. And also the Korean language education is provided to them. Lastly, for the low-income families, maybe as the teachers from Malaysia and Russia explained already, we also rented digital devices to students who are in low-income family, and also internet subscription fee is provided to students to narrow the digital gap in students' ICT skills. And also we have some challenges when it comes to student attendance and student assessment. So for student attendance, for students who participate in real-time interactive classes, the teachers can track the students' attendance in real time. But for student contents and task-oriented class, teachers normally utilize the learning management system to track the students' progress. And lastly, for the management of the student evaluation, actually, the teachers will give some tasks to its students. However, the paper-based written test will take place after all students are allowed to come back to the school. But this test will cover both online and offline education contents. So student performance evaluation can take place when the teachers can directly and clearly observe the students' performance during the online classes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Darsam, for the detailed information on how Korea is handling the challenges. We have limited time, so let's move on to the next question. Question 3. Malaysia, what would be the most important things that you would like to tell the educators out there facing these emerging education challenges so that they can widen the children's educational opportunities during and after the pandemic?
Okay. To start with, like what our Director General and Deputy Director General, even the Minister has said, patience. Number one is patience. Thank God we already have digital textbooks in Malaysia. We have about 557 modules all in. They have it. We have online learning materials. Like our colleague from Russia has said, you don't have to do everything. Do as much as you can, but don't get panic. It's okay. The teachers are doing their best to go online and teach, and the ministry is doing their best. We can't open up school now. Students' safety measures are very important. You have to do temperature reading, mask, sanitizing, everything when they come to school. It's not going to be easy. The big children, they'll understand, but the small one, however you tell them, they will keep on doing what they want to do. They will hug their friends. They will even change masks. So it's not going to be easy. So teachers have to be patient, and also the assessment. We don't have to worry about assessment. Malaysia has gone into from the centralized examination to classroom examinations assessments since 2019. So it's not an issue. We can always assess the students later. So the most important is stay safe and stay at home for the time being. And of course, education or knowledge can be gained later, but not live. Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic answer. Puan Fazila, is there anything to add on to that? Unmute, Puan Fazila.
Okay, sorry. So I just continue with what Dr. Suras has said just now. So to the educators out there, keep on educating in whichever best ways that you can. There are many options that you can use, and it is all at the tips of your fingers. Okay, surf the internet or attend the many webinars that is going on now. You can get great ideas on how to widen the students' educational opportunities during and after the pandemic. So, like the doctor said, stay safe, stay at home.
Thank you, Puan Fazila. I have a question from the audience, right? I have to interrupt and put this in. Is online learning the only way when it comes to distance learning? Is there any other unpacked version? Anyone? Any country? Is there any other method besides online learning, digital?
Okay, can I add something on this topic?
Yes.
I should say that there is no unique recipe, no unique recipe. If even we give some advice, it doesn't matter that it is suitable for everyone. So you can use blended learning. Of course, you can use some techniques which you used before. in offline learning. Of course, you can use everything, and not only, you mean online learning means that you are giving online session and you are present at this session, right? But of course, you can do different things. For example, I was created an international project. And we took part in this project for 2 years. It is a cultural box exchange project. When we send real parcels, real boxes with our Russian items to different countries. Of course, we cannot do this right now. Of course, we cannot do this. But we do not stop this project. I rewrote our requirements for teachers and made a Wakelet collection. And my students made a great team, and each student added one slide or one picture with some information. And we continue working together. In spite of the fact that we are in different places, in different homes, of course, we are continue. And we finish this collection, and now we ask lots of people around the world to take part in our project. Okay, you can share your typical items of your country, and we can continue learning in this way, even if we are not only online, you know.
Yeah, you have modified the version, right, Ms. Helen? Anybody else to add on? Yes, Ms. Dasim.
Yes. It's not the Korean case, but I heard on the newspaper, the UK, a teacher initiated visiting of his students' houses and just hang the learning materials for his students and also some foods. So maybe that would be a good strategy, untact strategy of teaching. And in Korea, we still provide the emergency care for the dual earning parents and the families who cannot really take care of their children at home 100% of the time. So that's another example of, that's not the on-tech learning, but still how the education is continued in this emergency situation. And also for the Korean lower grades, for the first and the second graders, they don't log on to the internet to continue their study, but they just watch the EBS, the Educational Broadcasting System TV. So there'll be another good approach. And how the learning materials are distributed in Korea is that the teachers give the parents the learning materials via drive-through. So the parents drive their cars to the elementary school and pick up the learning materials for their children. And yes, that way they just cannot they just avoid meeting or talking with the teachers, but just hand in that learning materials via a car window. So that's another way.
That's great initiative by the teacher. And we do have some cases in Malaysia, right or not, Mr.
Yes, Ms. Jayanti. In remote areas in Malaysia, teachers are also going house to house to deliver their notes, deliver the assessment papers, exercises, and all those stuff. It happens. But when you ask me, is this the best way online? To a certain extent, it is the best way because of the hashtag stay at home. So that's the problem. We don't want connection of people. So, I wouldn't say that this is the way to go. To me, if you ask me, the best way to learn is conventional classroom. I would say that. But at this time, it's just an unavoidable. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I hope we have answered the question, the audience question. Now, let us move on to the question that we have worked on. Miss Helen, right? What would be the most important thing that you would like to tell the educators out there who's facing this challenges so that they can, as what I said, widen the children's educational opportunities during and after the pandemic?
Being Microsoft Educated community member, my best advice is stay together. Yes, stay at home, but stay together. support each other. No matter in which country we live right now, no matter what borders we have between us and time differences, stay together because everybody's experience is valuable. And don't be shy to learn from each other, because sometimes maybe a person thinks that he or she knows everything and they do not need any help, and that is not all right. I am a lifelong learner, and I learn from somebody, and I teach lots of people, and I continue doing my work. So stay together. Only together we can overcome, and encourage each other. Encourage, because if we are in lockdown and we stay at home, and we might get depressed, and that's why stay together.
Self-motivation does matter. Yes, Ms. Dasam and Ms. Park, answering the last question for today's session.
Yes, I would say that the support and cooperation, networking are the solutions to the educational emergency that we all have. I think that after the COVID-19, the post-COVID-19 society will be the untech society, and everyone just should stay healthy, safe, and find their own ways to just keep learning, teaching, and cooperating. So I think the cooperation and the support at the school level, local level, national level, and international level are really important. So as I mentioned before, starting from May 20th, Korean will open the schools for the 12th graders, because they are, of course, in the urgent need of the education, and they need to prepare for the national college entrance exam. So with the local offices of education, there are 17 provinces in Korea. The Ministry of Education is planning the phased reopening of the schools. So different grade levels will go to offline classrooms next week, hopefully. We don't know yet what will happen, but yes, that's our wish. And we also have the rotating schemes. So for example, homerooms 1, 2, 3 can just attend the morning session, and homerooms 4, 5, 6 can attend the afternoon session. So we can minimize the number of the students in one school. Yes, of course, there are 4 million school-aged children in Korea. So we sincerely hope that everybody, not only the students, but teachers, parents, and everyone who's in the education sector, stay safe. And as Korea is right now being praised by many other countries as the leading country for the COVID-19 response, we hope to share our information and the situation know-hows with other countries as well. So yes, recently Her Excellency Yoo Eun-hye, our Minister of Education, had a teleconference with the Minister of Education at the UAE. So yes, we are really grateful for the opportunities we can share our know-hows and also learn a lot from you. So yes, it's very thankful, and yes, we hope to get the support and the cooperation networking among ourselves, and yes, with our neighboring countries too.
Yeah, great to hear that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are towards the end of the session, and definitely I'm not going to summarize or conclude what we have discussed, partly because I believe there is no conclusion to today. It is the very start for this whole new perspective in teaching and learning. COVID-19 has definitely reshaped education, and we are experiencing a steep learning curve, I would say. And based on the discussion, I think we have accomplished something with digital education that would have taken years, isn't it? Teachers are being very supportive of each other, creating a very strong network. Very good example from Russia, Korea, and as well Malaysia. Societies and governments are pitching in to support the teachers, and we are definitely on track, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, before I thank you, let us together thank the row of panelists that we have here, who have not only given their precious time, but also tremendous input on strategies that their countries have done throughout this crisis on teaching and learning during COVID-19. And Dr. Suraj, Puan Fazila, Ms. Helen, Ms. Dasim Kim, Ms. Hyung Jong Park, thank you from our bottom of heart. And we have no words to say. Thank you for the sharing. And with that, we are signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. Today, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, everybody, and thanks for your time sharing with us. So, it's from our digital classroom. We would like to, if there any event like this, maybe we can ask for your, your time for some other time, maybe. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Janib.
Ngam, 1 hour, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Dasim.
Thank you, everyone. Happy
Bye.
teaching.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Puan Fazila.
Yes, thank you. Okay.